Hello.
Hello.
I'm Bello.
And I'm Nair. And we are Perspeculative.
And today we're going to be talking about our celebratory 100 prescribing... Wait.
Subscribing.
You crazy nutcases out there that actually agreed to follow us.
Yep. You prescribed. Perspeculative.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least one short a day.
So, as she was saying, in celebration of that, we decided to do Zom 100 for our 100 plus subscribers.
For all you zombies out there watching us, listening to us.
Oh, God.
We appreciate you. So yeah, neither one of us were super looking forward to this.
I'd heard different things, mixed things about it. I thought I remembered hearing that it had Ichi in it. I thought I heard that it was better than expected, but not great. And I'm not really that big on zombie stuff, like, hardly any. I liked Plants vs. Zombies 1, the game. I liked Death Row to Canada as zombies. I mean, they're very pixelized zombies, but yeah, I'm not really that big into zombie stuff, honestly.
Yeah, for two 90s kids that grew up playing, like, every game of Resident Evil. And I've talked about this before on other videos. I just grew out of the gory, horror-type entertainment, whether it's video games, movies, anime, whatever. And zombies, they gotta be, if not top fear of all time, it's gotta be, like, on my top 10. Definitely not looking forward to possibility of a zombie apocalypse one day. So I was sort of dreading it, but the 100 in the name went with our theme.
Of 100 subscribers, so. We thought about Mob Psycho 100, but I'd already started that show, and Bella wanted us to do a new show fresh together. So, Zom 100 seemed like a pretty good one to go with. There was one other one I read about with something like 100 girlfriends in underwear, and I don't know what it was about, and I didn't want to know, so we didn't go that route. But I did think that it wouldn't be very good. I thought there'd be Ichi, and then it'd be about a 6.
I also thought it would be about a 6. I also thought, is it somehow an isekai from the trailers? I was like, does this count as an isekai? Because even though he's not dying and being sent to another world or getting downloaded in a video game and sent to a video game world,
he kind of is thrust into another world.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of.
The world does completely change.
Well,
I mean, not like his environment, but I mean, as far as like the buildings and everything are familiar, but he goes from his excessive work life and just the day-to-day grind to literally a zombie apocalypse. So It is a whole different genre. Maybe that's what counts as an isekai. You're jumping from one genre to another. You know?
Arguable with pseudo isekai. But I was going to say, too, the only thing that I thought about it was that it was going to be about a guy in the zombie apocalypse enjoying his time there. Because that's kind of what I'd gathered from the things that I'd seen briefly on the internet. I wasn't trying to gather information, just kind of gleamed it.
Well, I had watched the trailer on it on a certain streaming website. It had come up. So I sort of had positive feelings about it just being a different spin on the zombie apocalypse, and that the little bit of attraction that I had for the show was that I appreciated that it wasn't your run-of-the-mill zombie apocalypse. Like, who's happy for the zombie apocalypse? Nobody. So I appreciated that little detail from what I could glean from the trailer. And then I used to watch a lot of stuff, so I watched High School of the Undead, so I sort of thought I had watched similar things before we started.
Now, getting into it, we only watched the first 5 episodes, but we took notes as we were going, and we wanted to really go into it.
Yeah, go into detail and really focus on our thoughts throughout the different episodes.
Predictions,
and
thoughts,
we tried to make a prediction, each of us, after each episode, and then sort of see if what we predicted came true. Some of them we probably haven't gotten to that point yet, or maybe they won't.
And to be fair, we weren't even sure that we were going to watch past 5 episodes if we got that far, because it depended on how bad it was. Because I told her, I'm like, if it's super bad, if it's super, super
Yeah, I think we
itchy and
actually
super
said we're
gory,
not going past episode 3 if it was very, very bad.
Yeah. But as far as it went so far, I think we'd probably finish it, honestly.
Yeah, I would be willing to actually finish it. So that's a little spoiler alert for you guys. We did end up liking it. So episode 1, my sort of thoughts were, I do not like the gore. There were a couple scenes of heads getting ripped off and stuff like that.
And with the same part that she's talking about, I also thought that the graphics were better than what I expected, and there was more realism, and it was darker than I thought it was going to be. But then it turned out that he was watching a movie about zombies.
A zombie apocalypse, and was saying, I wouldn't mind that happening to me, so I wouldn't have to go to work tomorrow. And I will say, he fell asleep, and part of me was like, is he dreaming this whole thing? So that was one of my thoughts, like, was this a Groundhog Day zombie apocalypse
like the whole
situation?
thing.
Yeah, like...
That's a lot to dream, though.
Yeah, it is. I also thought specifically the fact that he was a ex-college rugby player, like, oh... he's going to be good at killing zombies. You know, rugby is a violent sport. I mean, maybe not as bad as hockey, but I'll let you guys argue that out.
I did think that his room was the worst room in anime that I've ever seen as far as dirtiness goes. I mean, I've seen a lot. There have been many anime where you see someone who's neglecting themselves in their house and it's like trash is piled up and all of that, but his was the worst.
Nowhere to walk without trash in it. But again, that sort of lends to the life he was leading.
For
a
3
life
years.
of depression and having no time to himself, literally maybe going home every few days to sleep and eat, and then waking up and going right back to work for days at a time.
I described him as that SpongeBob fish guy who works at the restaurant who is all like super happy that SpongeBob had a picture of, and then you see him and he's just totally miserable after having to deal with everything. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Do we? Do we?
Okay, you guys know. Bello might not, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That's exactly what it seemed like to me. And to his first workday, and then repeatedly after that, I just kept saying, Jesus Christ. Like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
you know, just
like,
repeatedly. Because it was just so, so bad.
Yeah, you definitely feel sorry for the MC, like, if that is not, and hopefully nobody listening has been in a work environment like that, or at least not to that extent. I've been in negative work environments before, but definitely not to that extent.
And not for 3 years. Like,
yeah.
I can't believe he lasted. Well, I can with the way Japan's ethic is, and
which
at least
is
it's portrayed
admirable.
to be. But,
yeah, but it could definitely put you into toxic situations and literally working yourself to death.
There's a reason they have a word for being worked to death or
Yeah.
suicide by work.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that shit happens and it's not okay. But he made it a really long time and I felt really bad for him. Thought it was sad. Called him a poor dude multiple times.
One of the things that stuck out to me right away in the first episode was that the zombies had rainbow blood instead of just red blood.
That's why I was like, what's with all the colors? But real quick, before we get to the zombies, one other comment I had was on the CEO getting with the chick that he liked, and I was just like, ew.
Oh, yeah.
Ew.
I mean, but again, if no matter what type of job, that's another common, even if they're not a CEO, your boss or something like that, that's common. You see it a lot, unfortunately. I'm sure it's something very relatable, and of course, again, you feel bad for the MC.
But yeah, like I said, I was like, what's with all the colors? And I was surprised about how fast there were and how many there were so quickly. You know, that made me wonder about how they were being infected for it to have happened like overnight and so many becoming infected so very quickly. And as you see later, when they get bit, it's like minutes before they turn.
It's not like
even.
in some movies or shows where it's an infection that takes hold over several days. It seems like
or at least hours and hours.
Yeah, it seems like a very quick thing usually. I also remarked on the speed of the zombies, like, oh, okay, so it's not
slow
like...
shambling, days fast.
What's it called? The British zombie movie.
Shaun of the Dead?
Shaun of the Dead, yeah, I love Shaun of the Dead. But yeah, definitely not like zombies in Shaun of the Dead, where they're just shuffling constantly. I also remarked on the fact that he was still worried about his bosses being mad at him and being late for work.
Yeah,
because of the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, because he hadn't realized by then that he was free.
Yeah. And that was something that I really appreciated when he realized, I don't have to go to work anymore. And it was like, suddenly, literally, and I really appreciated that the animators did this, because when you are in the midst of depression, you really do see things in shades of gray. And your whole world does seem darker and dimmer. And I really appreciated the animation bringing that out. And you sort of noticing, like, when did this anime become black and white? Because it happened so slowly that they drained the color out throughout the course.
Until the zombies with all
by
the color.
his third year of working in that company, it was black and white. And you didn't even notice it happening until you were like, wait, is there not any color? And then when the zombies got there, they were exploding in fountains of rainbow blood. It was very colorful when he finally realized he was free, like Nair said.
It made me think of Sin City with the yellow blood and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I really appreciated that it made him appreciate everyday things, and that he got to look at the sky and just listen to the birds, and he had time for anything other than the daily work grind, and I really liked that.
I did predict that he would see her, the chick that he liked, as a zombie or in person again, and that somehow would be significant. I thought it was nice that he got to quit to the CEO, that it was cathartic. That was pretty gross. And the whole thing with him being very overweight and exploding made me wonder if that's something to do with the way the infection works. Like, if it's more likely to mutate and kind of expand and kind of explode them slightly if they're more obese people, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. It seemed like it made the runners even faster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So maybe it depends on your body type to how it reacts to you.
One of the things that I remarked on was I liked that it was called Zombie 100 because he ends up making a bucket list of 100 things he wanted to do before turning zombie. Like, he doesn't even say, oh yeah, I'm gonna get through this, I'm gonna survive this. But before I become a zombie, there were things I wanted to do, and I'm gonna do them. So I sort of admired that. Again, it wasn't your stereotypical zombie apocalypse. He wasn't looking to survive the whole thing. He was just trying to survive it long enough to do 100 things he wanted to do.
And I will say, as soon as he said he was free and he realized he was free and he was happy, he immediately reminded me of Midoriya from My Hero. And throughout, then after, especially when he gets his little suit and the whole hero thing and all that, he definitely repeatedly reminds me of Deku and says things directly from My Hero. Not that they're not typical things to say or whatever, but
yeah,
it's very obvious.
Especially by the 4th and 5th episode, yeah. And then we also made predictions on what we thought caused the zombie apocalypse. I don't know if you've gotten to that point.
Yeah, well, first I wanted to say a couple other things. I thought that was a terrible way to go for her. The chick that he liked, that she was in bed with the CEO when she died, because that was gross.
Oh yeah, and then the CEO exploded into a fat zombie, and I really liked him telling the CEO that whole speech.
Yeah, that's what it was cathartic.
Thanks for everything you taught me, but basically your company sucks, and I quit, and I'm free. While his CEO is exploding into lumpy zombie
grossness.
Basically, God, what was the fat zombie off of?
I don't know. It makes me think of 7 Days to Die. The game with the police zombies that can, I don't know if they explode / throw up on you, but they're really fat and they did that.
Is it 7 Days to Die with the smokers and the, like, witches that scream and cry if you accidentally put your flashlight on them?
There are witch-like things, but I think it isn't that game. They do scream, but I think that it was inspired by another game. And the version that I played was the console version, so it's the older version, not the fully updated one.
Anyway, lots of zombie lore
and I did
brought together in this show.
For a pilot episode, it was very good. It seemed to get the origin story across well and succinctly, and you definitely see why the plot is moving in the direction that it is. It all makes sense. You really get the feel for it. You don't think he's being overdramatic. You get how bad it was and understand why he could feel the way he does.
Yeah, it was a really immersive and cohesive first episode. And yeah, applaud the animators, the writers. The enthusiasm definitely came across.
And getting to what we were predicting as far as how the infection worked, I had no idea. I was kind of like, was it something that was mutating them? Because it seemed to mutate, especially the obese CEO. And then I was like, well, is it sexually transmitted because they were in bed together and that would infect a lot of people quickly? I don't know. And then I thought, like, a certain drink or what could cause it to come on so fast. Like, he said it was during rush hour, and it was just like, boom. Was it something in the air? It could have been a lot of things.
See, you sort of thought about it from a different angle than I did. I wasn't so concerned about transmitting from other people to other people or mutations or anything like that. I was like, was it a biochemical spill from a paint factory? Like, is that why they're exploding? And then I also thought, what if it's like a different kind of artificial food coloring? That people were eating, and so if you ate that, then you explode into zombie colors. I was very on the color thing, so we definitely went through 2 different mental tracks for that. Episode 2, more me not liking zombies being in the show, but, you know, what can you do? And I liked that it sort of veered away from the main character and became more about the people that also were surviving with him. Like, yep, we get the premise, we know it, we get it about the main character is still the main character, but now you get to find out more about others, which is nice for me.
I did not agree with the beer being the drink of the gods.
Yeah.
But I don't like beer.
Well, I think it was symbolic for him because beer is like you relaxing with your buddies and, you know, it's a very,
it's not
especially
a work
for
thing.
men, it's, yeah. And it wasn't just him drinking a beer or drinking a cold beer. It was also him drinking a cold beer on a work day, not going to work.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he'd
after
never
3
done
years,
it.
yeah.
So I really appreciated that because, again, it wasn't just about the zombie apocalypse. It was about his life changing, which I really, really appreciated. And the symbolism there.
And as soon as he met the girl, I was like, oh, new love met.
Yeah.
New love acquired. Gotcha.
Yeah. I like that when he was writing down his 100 goals, he literally wrote down like 6 things he already did just so he could cross them off on his list.
Hey, they were on his list.
And I was like, that is so ADHD. Like, let me get this dopamine rush from crossing these things off, even though they're already done and there's no reason to put them on the list. And that is definitely some stuff that I've done.
There were several things, small things that I predicted that then came through, like him doing spring cleaning and the neighbors being dead and just different things like that. And I would say, in his defense, because she mentions, oh, that's not a necessity as far as the beer goes, and I don't like beer, which I've said, but you can live off beer, so in his defense, it's not a bad choice.
Yeah, and then I also thought, like, what if the colors that the zombie is leaking lends to what type of zombie it is, because they sort of go into like
there
slow
might be a pattern,
running ones, and then super fast scary ones. So there actually was a variety. And then I also thought about the girl he meets. She has all these goals which are strictly to do with survival, but then she has another goal which says stay away from sweets, and you're like, why? What?
It's the end of the world. Like,
yeah,
come
like,
on.
why does
You can
that
have one piece of
matter? What
mochi.
does that have to do with surviving? And she's like Mrs. what? Realist? What do they call her? Risk analysis. Yeah, so she's like Miss Rational, but won't eat sweets during the zombie apocalypse. So we sort of thought about that, and then I was like, well, what if she was a model, and that's something that she has to sort of
or grew
let
up
go.
with or something.
Yeah.
But I think one of my predictions was that she will teach him to survive while he will teach her to live. But I'm just throwing out there while Bella was talking about the chick.
And then after episode 2, my prediction was that the MC and Serious Girl are going to end up together and end up being longtime survivors right until the end. And either the only 2 that live or she dies and he's heartbroken. And yeah.
And I think she's going to travel with them to find his parents. With him and his friend.
Okay.
Oh, and I forgot to say that as soon as he put the goggles on, he made me think of Gurren Lagann.
Oh, yeah, she did. For episode 3, I don't know, I have a lot of notes. I appreciated, again, how colorful the animation is, because a lot of zombie apocalypse obviously they're dirty, grungy, browns, grays, dark, stark contrasted colors. Not a lot of brighter pastel colors in zombie apocalypse movies. So I appreciated the break from the norm and that it was very, very colorful and bright and lots of happy colors, which I think was sort of lending to the juxtaposition of horror genre zombie apocalypse to this is actually him being almost reincarnated into another happy world.
Well, and then once you add his friend on, then you have a lot of comedic relief. And that's why I mentioned that his friend's dream is to become a comedian. And he basically gets that immediately by becoming the comic relief for the audience, even though he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And he is a comedian in other parts of the show for other characters, but
Yeah.
for us, he's kind of like that pretty consistently.
Yeah, my notes on that guy were hurry up and jump. And
Yeah, I
all
literally
caps.
wrote the same thing.
Yeah, that is a nail-biting part. You guys go through and watch episode 3. You'll know what part we're talking about. And then also, nudity is apparently aerodynamic.
Also hilarious, apparently.
Yeah, like, great. And then I also thought that maybe there was a hint of foreshadowing when he saves his best friend, and then the best friend jokes with him and said, who knows, maybe you're the guy that's going to save us from the zombie apocalypse. So I thought that was some
Foreshadowing
there. And then my prediction was that he was going to gather friends, maybe even get his old rugby team together. Like the whole team, not just his best friend from the rugby team. So that was my prediction after episode 3.
My prediction was that the MC was going to make the new main girl laugh, and that the friend, who's a comedian, would never be able to make her laugh. And also, I have a feeling, which I hope I'm wrong, I hope both of his parents are okay, but I have a feeling that maybe one of his parents has either been turned and killed already by the other parent and buried somewhere beautiful that they loved, or that they're keeping them locked up somewhere to try to save them. And I'm thinking it might be the mom that this has happened to, but they might go the less stereotypical way and go with the dad, that the dad was the one that got bit or whatever, and maybe trying to protect the mom, or I don't know. But that's one of my theories, but of course we haven't met the parents yet.
And I did appreciate, too, that the funny, tan, handsome, well-muscled guy is actually the plucky comic relief sidekick. I mean, the MC's still in good shape and stuff, but
muscular and stuff.
Like pasty, pale, shorter, thinner, average-looking guy is the hero of the MC. So I sort of appreciated that as well.
I mentioned his serious goggles, like Ash with a serious hat. And
Oh, yeah. So episode 4, I appreciated that little splash of gourmet or gourmet
Oh,
with the friend cooking the little seafood.
Oh, yeah.
In the beginning. So they go out to get a 60-inch TV, and if that isn't a bromance side quest, I don't know what is. Okay,
Yeah,
just to play video games on. Zombie video games on.
Of all things.
Yeah.
You think they get tired of it.
Yeah. So they leave to go do that and then end up in basically an underground mall in the subway.
Where they get their wish. Which, to me, it felt right that they met flight attendants and didn't feel set up. Even though you know it's set up because it's a plot.
I thought that too.
And it was written this way, but I didn't feel like they were like, oh, and now there's flight attendants. How convenient, you know?
Yeah, it actually did feel natural.
Yeah, it made sense. And so it was nice to kind of put that, yay, they got their flight attendants, lol.
My notes a lot were, why is the office guy not talking?
Yeah.
Don't like that. Not good.
I thought he was going to freak out and going to open the doors and let the zombies in, and they were going to have to run for it. So I was partially right. He was the reason they had to make a run for it. And he did lose his mind.
Yeah. And I also noted during episode 4 that I am starting to genuinely like the show. And that was really like, okay, I actually, like, the gore really isn't even bothering me. And I am genuinely actually liking it and appreciating it. And again, you guys know, if you've listened to us before, I like slice of life. I like the meaning behind a lot of slice of life anime. And I think that the reason it's popular is because, and I admire this about the Japanese culture, that it is hard work is so admired and something to strive for and a necessity if you are a member of that culture. And I think it's admirable, but I also think that not just the Japanese, but in America and I'm sure other places too, you get so caught up in working hard and striving for your life to be better that you miss life.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that slice of life supports going against that, and that it's okay to not be this hyper successful person, but to be happy with a simpler life.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's because it's a lesson that I had to learn as I've gotten older. And that's part of why I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. That actually has to do with my prediction after the 4th episode, which was that his dream might have been to live as his parents lived, which I thought might have been like farming or a simple life somewhere small, like a small town.
Mm-hmm. And then I also notated, I knew it, quiet guy was bit, and then also right after that, probably one of my worst nightmares, maybe right up until episode 5. I don't know which is worse, but zombie guy comes up from under the counter and she thinks he's trying to get freaky, but really he's hungry and comes across as very scary and inappropriate. And
yeah,
the worst nightmare right there. Like, whew.
And we all knew that the nice girl was going to die. I mean, Abby.
Yeah. Well, all the girls died. But,
that's true. But, I mean, she was obvious. Like, it was like, oh, okay, yeah this one's dying.
That's definitely getting ripped away from him because...
Yeah, he can't have another girl. He's already got his girl.
Yeah.
It's going to take more work, and it's going to take time, but he's got his girl.
Yeah. So my prediction after episode 4 was that the MC is going to gather other people's goals and dreams and add them because he only had, like, 30 of his own goals in the Zom 100 notebook. So I predicted that he was going to gather other people's goals and dreams and ends up accomplishing them with them or maybe even for them if some of them die and don't accomplish their dream. Like, he does that for them and ends up finding appreciation maybe for different things. I mean, I'm not saying, like, he paints a masterpiece, but maybe stuff like that. Learn how to cook a flambe and then he learns how to cook and it rounds out his life and he finds fulfillment in it.
Man, you're just determined for this to be a gourmet anime.
Okay, maybe I do wish there was a little more gourmet.
There's lots of gore.
Yeah.
There's lots of people eating. Oh, God.
And then episode 5, again, I didn't have a lot of notes on this. Maybe I was too busy enjoying watching.
I said that it was just basically Deku IRL zombie apocalypse. Like, literally he became Deku, but IRL zombie apocalypse.
And I put that him playing as a superhero when he was a kid points to that's going to end up saving people again. More foreshadowing for that. Definitely freaking out about the fact that you find out that the disease is communicable to the animal kingdom. So, not okay. And you remember how I said episode 4 was my worst nightmare until episode 5? Yeah. Zombie sharks that walk. That run, actually. So...
Yeah, I saw the red eyes and I was just like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Zombie SeaWorld. Not where we want our family vacation to go.
The next shark tornado. Zombie SeaWorld.
It's actually Sharknado.
Oh, yes, you're right. You're right. My bad. Never seen it.
I have.
I'm sorry.
That was a cherished pastime for a couple years, just renting B movies from Family Video. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I think that was all the notes I had. I did, after watching, as we already said, after watching the first 5 episodes, I think it's worth finishing. And I liked it better than I thought I would, or I was afraid that I would. I think I'd give it like a 7.5 as of right now, or something like that. Like, it's on the road to be that. I mean, it could always go better, it always go worse, but...
Yeah, I'm sure we've all been there with animes that drop off after the first few episodes, or the first handful of episodes start off slow, and then you're like, oh my god, it's amazing, you know? So it could go either way at this point. A lot of potential that I'm seeing in it. I'm rating it at an 8, and you guys know I don't like gore. and but I'm really sort of loving the juxtaposition on a slice of life zombie apocalypse show is literally what I would categorize it as. So I'm enjoying it. I'm interested in continuing with it. If you guys want to see a part 2, let us know, and we might try to keep this formula of notes and predictions
going. All right, I think that's it, folks. We've been going on a while here, so you're welcome. And also, thank you for being 100 subscribers. Or getting us to 100 subscribers.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative to just know that there are 100 people out there that are even willing to have notifications pop up for them with my voice. So, cheers. Cheers for you guys for sticking it out.
For realsies and such.
All right, that's it for now.
We'll talk to you later.
Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Peace out, y'all.
Bye.